All right. Good morning, Wellspring.
Good morning, Judy.
My name is Judy Bethman, and I'm part of your Sunday, February 8th, 2026 Sunday service team. We have a few opportunities, as Shirley Angel Love would say. Early birds meet Sunday morning at 9:30 via Zoom. The link is in the weekly email and on the website. What book are you studying? The Power of Now, Edgar Tolle, right? Okay, our speaker for today is our lovely Reverend Sandhi. Next week, Reverend Uki McIsaac will be here. And on the 22nd, Jean Geringer. The Thursday evening group continues to meet on Thursday nights. Get coordinates from Cleona and Edward. Last Thursday, we did a program via YouTube on Edward Casey's view of reincarnation. No. Karma. Okay. The dowsing workshop will be February 21st here at 1:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the social hall with a $35 fee. Our annual meeting is today. There is a board of trustees opening, so please search your heart and consider being on the board as we do the work of our beloved Wellspring. The meeting will follow the luncheon provided. Our prayer team remains ready to serve and support you. You may submit a request via our webpage or give it to Edward. Our prayer team continues to meet virtually on Tuesday afternoons at 4:15 to pray with you. You may consider sitting in your quiet space during that time because we know we are one in spirit and the energy of prayer holds no limits. As we hear this vibration of this pure tone, we invite Spirit to come and be a part of this service and a part of our gathering, because we know we are all one in spirit, and we acknowledge the universal mindset. We thank Thee and we bless Thee. O Holy Spirit, come into our hearts and our souls. And so it is. All right. Please stand if you are able and join us in our song of joy, Love Binds Us All.
All
All right, you're in good voice today. Let us read together a vision, mission, and affirmation. Our vision: to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission: to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. Our affirmation: this month we remind ourselves that all love begins with divine love. We acknowledge and affirm that divine love is continually expressing itself through us and with us. We lift all as we extend this love to those we meet. And so it is. And now we have Jeff G.
Oh, thank you, guys. In honor of Valentine's Day, I want to do the song that was my mom and dad's song when they were courting in, I think, the early 60s. This is Misty. Look at me, I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree, and I feel like I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way, and 1,000 violins begin to play. Or it may be the sound of your hello. Oh, music I hear. I get misty the moment you're near. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how helplessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own, would I wander through this wonderland alone? Never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. You can say that you're leading me on, but it's just what I want you to do. Don't you notice how helplessly I'm lost? That's why I'm following you. On my own, would I wander through this wonderland alone? Never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love.
Thank you, Jeff. Our reading this morning is from Living the Science of Mind, and it's titled, The Law, Schoolmaster or Servant. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ, that we might be justified by faith. But after that faith is come, we are no longer they're a schoolmaster. That's from Galatians 3:24 and 25. What this means is that the law of cause and effect is a taskmaster while we are ignorant of its operation. And being ignorant, we use the law destructively. Experience teaches us what is best. We learn that good alone can be eternal and that love overcomes hate by the same law of cause and effect which made hate seem real. Thus, we are justified by faith and we are no longer under the schoolmaster of the law. This does not mean the law is destroyed. It means that we have reversed our use of the law. We have brought chance into compliance with love, reason, and faith. We have caught the lightning and made it turn the wheels of industry. We have engaged the laws of nature and harnessed their energy to our purposes. The law, which is our schoolmaster, is the same law, but now it, capital I, is obedient, our obedient servant. To know this is what constitutes the difference between spiritual wisdom and spiritual ignorance. The unwise have no alternative. They are subject to the law of cause and effect as a schoolmaster until they learn its nature and until they discover that they may transcend all previous negation and through Christ or truth enter into a new heaven and a new earth, a different consciousness. When consciousness is changed, experience automatically changes. And so it is. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our beloved Reverend Sandhi. Do you have a microphone or are you going to use this one? Okay, I will turn this one on.
Thank you, Judy. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Only Judy could pull off wearing Valentine glasses and look so good, huh? I just love the way she dresses. And you did a great job. I have a couple of things to clear up. Last week, I wasn't here. I got a call at 11:30. I was happy at home. I didn't realize I was supposed to be here. And I didn't really realize it until now, realizing it's your membership day. And of course, Edward speaks on that day. So Edward is one of the most gracious people I've ever met. So thank you for being so gracious, Edward. And if you want to come up and say something about the membership meeting? No? Okay. The other thing is from my doctor, I had a stroke the last time I was here. For the first time in 43 years, I had to step off the podium. And the support was amazing. People just helped me right into the quiet room on this beautiful sofa. And the ambulance came, and the last thing that happened was Judy reached her hand out to touch me. And it was just so wonderful. And Sharon followed the ambulance and stayed in the hospital room till Terry got there. And I was just well taken care of. And the doctor said, well, your CT scan and your MRI are clear, and you can go home the next day. It was hideous at first there because I was hungry. Tests and no food, tests and no food. And I kept centering, and I didn't have any of my goodies with me. Thank God I have my book bag. So I got through it just fine by the grace of God and by working the principles and remembering that my body is temporary, who I am is not. And what happened to my body did not happen to who I am. Spirit is free and clear. Nothing in the past happened to who I am. So why, as Ernest Holmes says, why drag the corpse of yesterday into today? But the point is, what I really want to tell you, and you people at Zoom, I love you so much. I always forget to really address you. Thank you so much for showing up in your home. I know the top of you is dressed. I used to have my pajama bottoms on when I did Zoom. I don't know about you, but I'm glad you're here. So I go to Dr. Dallas Lipscomb out at Elephant Butte in Truth or Consequences, and he is amazing. He's present, he's kind, he's experienced. He knows lots about lungs and the lung disease I have, and lots about strokes. And he said where I went was a really good place to go for strokes. And it was so mild. All I did was have slurred speech. Everyone looked really confused. I'm trying to get words out, and they're going, what the heck? Why don't you just say what you want to say? So it was a miracle. And he said, I really believe, Sandy, that your stroke was very mild because of those people praying for you. So thank you, Wellspring. Thank you so much. And I believe that too, because it was just something happened, and I was just carried from one place to the other, and then Terry took me home to my car, and I had to drive to Las Cruces 3 times this week. The first time I asked someone to drive me because it was my first venture out after the incident. So anyway, for about 6 days now, I have awakened without any struggle with breathing, without coughing, without being tired. And what I heard this morning on the way here from NPR was this man was saying, there's a middle-age support group in Santa Fe. And he says, is it a crisis or a chrysalis? Isn't that cool? Because when you have a meltdown, you're in the chrysalis, right? You're melted. There's nothing there but pain. There's nothing there but the fact, not the truth. And then we can bloom from it. So I'm feeling better than I felt, I don't know in how long. So, and I love these friends of mine from Las Cruces. It's so cool that you're here today. And I'll be at Unity next week by the grace of God, and my benefactor, amazing minister, Reverend Jennifer Kleitz. I love her with all my heart. So let's begin. Let's just sense that wonderful presence of infinite energy present here, expressing through our minds, the walls vibrating with years of truth being spoken and experienced and expressed here in this very room. Our beloved Sam and Nancy, the founders of this amazing place, Wellspring. We're here today for a message, and I ask that it serve you, that maybe something I say resonates with you and lifts your frequency, because I believe infinite energy expresses through us on the frequency of our thoughts. And so what frequency would you like to be on right now? I open to a high frequency of service, of caring deeply for every person here, of giving thanks for the opportunity of being here and delivering a message that just may be of value. I pray that my ego is out of the way and spirit moves through me and through each of you, and fill this room with the spirit of love and light. And let's embrace Shirley Pickering, just as she is at home, not able to be here today. And anyone else you want to think of right now, or say their name, we send them blessings. Whomever is in need, we send out spiritual pillows filled with compassion and comfort to them. And for this we give thanks. So, because this is my 3rd trip in a week to Las Cruces, I have it down. And I got ready early. So, since Shirley can't be here, Terry and I are going to go visit her after church. And I got her this. And I want everyone to give Shirley a hug, okay? And I'll pick it up in the social room afterwards. So we're bringing you into the room, Shirley. You're never gone from us. And she's one of the founders. I mean, how long has she been here, you guys? Like, does Edward know or James?
23 years.
23 years she's been a pillar in this church. Just looking lovely, being lovely. She's been my prayer partner since I got here. It'll be 3 years next year. And we pray and we read things that we like pornographic stuff. Right, Shirley? Okay, so another mistake I made is I thought I answered Judy's wonderful text saying, what would you like me to read? And I think anyway, I blew it. So she just picked it up in the office, and she read the perfect thing because she plopped it open. You plop spiritual books, right? So I happened to grab this. I wasn't going to bring it or read it or anything. It's The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. If you know him or watch his videos, he's gentle. He isn't pushing products. He doesn't have an agenda. He just simply speaks his truth. And it's quite lovely and quite true for me. But guess what? I plopped it open. And it said, huh? And here's the wrong bookmark. Okay, it says, how many times have you experienced these dynamics in your life, like opening to the flow? How many times have you experienced that flow of energy through you? Dynamics in your life. You have a wellspring of beautiful energy inside you. Isn't that cool? I love those little coincidences. They say that that's God working anonymously. So the other thing is it's Edwin's birthday today. Happy birthday, Edwin. I have a card for... Yeah, thank you for all your service. You show up and you give your all, and we really missed you when you were gone for a long time. So glad you came back. So happy birthday. As you know, I love Eastern thought, or you may not know. I love ancient texts because they're saying the same thing, but they have this deep, deep resonation for me. They've been read and said and preached and studied and translated. Like I have maybe 7 or 8 different translations of the Bhagavad Gita, and I have 4 Upanishads, and I compare translations. And my favorite Bhagavad Gita has the word-for-word translation, so no matter what Prabhupada said about it, I know what the direct translation is. And it's different sometimes. I go, aha. So one of my favorite Upanishads is translated by Eknath S. Warren, who is one of the greatest men I've ever experienced. I got to meet him before he died. He was a professor in Berkeley. I probably said this before. But I went to Santa Rosa with a friend from Sonoma to see him. And he wore a camel hair beret and a beige cashmere turtleneck and a camel hair jacket. I mean, he was the perfect Berkeley professor. And he's very gentle. And he knew Paramahansa Yogananda and Gandhi. And his translation, the Bhagavad Gita is really small. And this is commentary. This is Eknath S. Warren's translation of it. It's an interpretation, just like our lives are interpretations of energy. That's what I believe. So it's always, for me, the big S and the little s. I didn't bring one today. I brought little books. But the little s, I do a big S and then a little s in the bottom, just right in the bottom of the big S. And the big S is self. That's who I am. Nothing happened to who I am. Nothing has ever happened to who I am. Who I am's never been hungry. That's amazing to me because it can really take over my temporary body some days. I go to a restaurant and say, bring something quickly, please. My fangs are denting my chest. I have low blood sugar. So we have to know our bodies, right, to take care of them. But the little s at the bottom is the body. So if I concentrate on the big S when anything's happening, and I let this little s, it's sideways, rest in the curve of the big S, then I can relax and know this is temporary. This is not who I am. It's not happening to what matters. What matter isn't matter, period. So the Chandogya Upanishad is one of my very favorites. And there's a wonderful monk named Sarva Priyananda who has videos on the Upanishads and the Gita, and he's fascinating, and he's twinkly and funny. So if you're interested. So this is chapter 6 of the Chandogya Upanishad. Now these names are difficult, and I'm probably not saying them right. So I'll just say Fred and Ralph, okay? So Fred was Ralph's son. When he was 12, his father said to him, It's time for you to find a teacher, dear one, for no one in our family is a stranger to the spiritual life. So Fred, or whoever the son was, went to a teacher and studied all the Vedas for 12 years. Imagine sitting at the feet of the teacher for 12 years. Pretty long time. I had an amazing teacher, Margaret Brees Whiting, that says, find a church, sit down and shut up for 7 years, get past all your judgments of the minister, the board, and the practitioners, get past all that, and get the learning, and stay there 7 years, which I did with Terry Cole Whitaker. And although I don't resonate with the way she translated Science of Mind, it took me from the laundromat to Malibu as a minister. So it was a powerful teaching. Anyway, for 12 years he studied. At the end of this time, he returned home proud of his intellectual knowledge. I used to be very proud of my spiritual knowledge and my spiritual practice. It doesn't mean anything. When you're in the hospital and you don't have anything with you, what do you have? You have spirit and your body plugged into these rude things and nurses, and it's nowhere to sleep, right? So you just go to spirit. Spirit is here. My body's temporary and spirit's much greater. So the father said, you seem to be proud of all this learning, but did you ask your teacher for that spiritual wisdom which enables you to hear the unheard, to think the unthought, and know the unknown? And the son said, no. And he got humbled, and he said, Father, please instruct me in this wisdom. And the father said, in the beginning was only being, capital B, one without second. Out of himself, he brought forth the cosmos and entered into everything in it. There is nothing that does not come from him. Of everything, he is the innermost self. He is the truth. He is the self supreme. You are that. You are that. And in 12 more verses, he describes self as the infinite presence within all creation. And he ends each paragraph with, you are that. So, and in the beginning it says, which I love, is Om is the self of all. So before I tell you a little story, we're going to take a moment and Om a little bit. Because the Hindu tradition, if you start teaching, if you start a ritual, if you start a gathering, you always start with Om. So we're going to do 3 Oms, okay? Nice deep breath. Om. Just try it out. You probably won't sound good, but that doesn't matter. And again. Om. And one more. Om. You're good at the M at the end. That's supposed to kind of lock it in, the M. You stay with the M a little bit. So I have a story to tell you that really, you've probably heard it, but hear it again with new ears, okay? So there was a man raising his own teenager, and she was having one of those moods, the open mouth and the monosyllabic grunts, and she was really bored, and she said, I'm really tired of life. There's one problem after another. I get over something and another thing happens. We know that, right? Well, that's the way life is. Do we want to grow or go? So if you want to grow, you're going to have some hoops to jump through. That's just the way it is. That chrysalis, we go into the chrysalis, chrysalis, bloom. Okay, so he said, oh, okay, so watch this. And he took 3 pots out, and he put 1 pot on each, what is that called, the flame thing? Burners. And water. And he put potatoes in one, eggs in one, and coffee beans in one, and boiled them for 20 minutes. And she was huffing and groaning and rolling her eyes. How many people have had teenagers? So not many, not the majority at all. Isn't that amazing? Anyway, you know what it is. Anyone was a teenager. You just get through it. Okay, so then after they boiled, he put the potatoes in a bowl. He put the eggs in a bowl. And he poured coffee into a cup. And he said, now taste the potato. And he said, that was hard when it went into the water, and it came out soft. And he said, now crack the egg open. He said, that was fragile when it went into the water. And it, what was it? And it transformed. No, the egg got soft. The egg was fragile and got solid, okay? I don't mean to mix you guys up, just bear with me, you know me. And then the coffee beans transformed the water. And he said, so how are you in adversity? Are you a potato? Do you get really soft? Are you an egg? Do you get solid? Or are you like coffee, transforming the water you're boiled in? Isn't that neat? So we can transform the experience, like being in the chrysalis. We don't have to stay in the chrysalis, we'll die. And as you know, you can't help a butterfly out of a chrysalis because she has to fight her own way out. So in difficulties, we can respond. That's the thing. Is I was talking to Terry a couple of times yesterday, and I have in Las Cruces, it didn't make the move, I don't think. I haven't found it, but there's a paperback Webster dictionary. And I looked up mind one day, and it simply said memory. Mind is memory. Because the problem in life for me is when something happens, do I do a knee-jerk response and blurt something, or do I push pause and respond mindfully? That's my practice, is not to react. Not to react to news, not to react to insults, not to react to anything other than spirit. I only want to experience spirit through every temporary person, place, thing, or condition is on my path. So we can do that. We can greet the spirit. And not only is mind memory, it's a storehouse, right? Because I triggered someone's mother the other day, with my mouth. I said something, and it really triggered her. And I said, well, what's going on? She goes, well, she was really upset. And she said, I don't know what it is. What is it? Because she wants to learn. And I said, well, what does it remind you of? She said, my mother. And I said, oh. And she goes, what do I do about it? I said, you work on your mother. She goes, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And I relate. We don't want to work on the hard things. And I didn't want to forgive her. I wanted to have a reason for being a mess, a reason for being mentally ill, a reason for being a compulsive drinker, alcoholic. I wanted a reason. It's because of my mother. Well, it may have started in my body, but I'm not my body. I'm not the conditions in my body, inherited or not inherited. And even Ernest Holmes said, if you've inherited a condition, then you don't have to activate it. You don't have to let it play out in your life. So we not only store memories, we store the interpretation of our memory. If someone activates my mother from the first 12 years, there's a wonderful woman in front of me, multi-talented, probably an artist, into her kids, into the community, golfer, hiker, swimmer, camper, traveler. She was just amazing for 12 years. So when someone activates that, it's a wonderful experience of her, right? If someone activates the next years till the end of her life, it's a horror story. She stepped into the depths of the human experience, the lowest frequencies possible before dying. I mean, way, way down. I went way down too. The lowest frequencies. And she didn't get up, and she died in my arms. And the miracle is she hadn't been speaking to me, and a tear went from her eye to my cheek as she died. So there are always miracles. I mean, the last second, there was a miracle. So we store the interpretation, and it's the interpretation of science of mind. And I've told you, at one point, I got very wealthy in Malibu, and I was a very shallow, prosperity-forcing minister. Rah, rah, rah. Terry quit, and all of us spoiled brat ministers were cut off from our big salaries. We lost our job on Easter Sunday in front of 5,000 people. She quit. It was quite an experience. Thank God I had a picture hat on, so I did. It was just shocking. We were just cut loose. That was it. And Ron, my ex-husband, and I were ministers, and we've been teaching in 5 cities in California. And LA was the go for it place to be. I mean, they loved it. They loved Terry. They had, LA used to have brunches to watch Terry Cole Whitaker on TV, and they were learning science of mind and about Ernest Holmes and the textbook Science of Mind. However, it was the New Age. And her interpretation was the New Age interpretation of, you can have whatever you want. Just speak your word. Tell God what you want. Use God like a Sears catalog. Just turn the pages, see what you want, claim it, and have it. And that's what we did. And we would say, and I know I've said this before, but I'm talking about interpretations. We would say that you thought yourself sick, so you can think yourself well. And then I got ambushed by death, and I started visiting people that were dying. And if you tell a person that's plugged in and in the gasping for the last breath that they created it and they can uncreate it, how effective do you think that would be? It was like firing bullets into an open wound. So I realized that I had to quit. And I thought I had to leave the Science of Mind movement. It was United Church of Religious Science, which is now United Centers for Spiritual Living, right? UCRS. Yeah. So I thought I had to leave because I couldn't say that anymore. And I didn't believe it anymore. But I read the textbook. That's why I like the source books. I like the Upanishads, even though it's teaching us about self, and so is Michael Singer. So did Louise Hay. So is Deepak Chopra. But when I read the Upanishads, it's a deeper, deeper experience. I feel it like all of civilization. So many people in India were reading that and studying it. Like there are lots of people gathered this morning, aren't there? And we can join in that energy if we want. It doesn't matter where you pray, it matters that you pray. So I changed everything. I went too far, but I don't regret it because death was my most severe and liberating teacher, because I was liberated from being a false self. Eckhart Tolle in Silent Speak says, we have a man-made personality, and I made mine in reaction. And I made it defensive and offensive. And I had a big wall. Can you relate to the wall? I read this wonderful novel. In one day, this woman from that owns the Cafe and Bookstore. I'd love to meet you guys there anytime you want to come up to TRC. She loaned me a book, and it was called The Mother Tongue. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but it was compared to Like Water for Chocolate. Do you remember that movie? It's that deep, and it has that resonation. And it's in Central America. And this man fell in love with this woman, and he said, her smile could drop the fences in your mind. Isn't that cool? Her smile could drop the fences in your mind. You know when someone smiles, even if you've had a bad day, you kind of smile. And if someone winks at you, you smile, right? We used to wink a lot. Remember when people used to whistle a lot, too? But we don't do that anymore. So anyway, I always say, if you're wincing in the mirror, stay there till you can wink in the mirror. So this is a condensed message this morning. And I would like to have input this morning of what did anything make sense to you that you could share this morning? Who has a comment? I'll get down here. I mean, why be up there? I know what. Let's pass these out. Do you remember these from last year? I got them again. This is for Valentine's Day. And the only point I wanted to make about Valentine's Day is in Tibetan studies, I studied with Lama Lanang for a long time. He's in Julian, California now, from Tibet. And he said the heart in Hinduism is a blue letter in the middle of your being, which is the power chakra, which is your gut. So it makes sense to trust your gut, because even scientists now have said that there's brain tissue in your gut. So that's why you can go, oh, I knew it. I knew better. I didn't trust my intuition. I felt it. I knew it. And I chose the other thing. Yeah, more than he has a big intuition. So you can follow your gut. Yesterday, I felt really cute. Day before yesterday, I felt really cute. I had this outfit on I really, really love, and I went to Las Cruces, and the assistant to the dentist loved it, and the dentist loved it, and Terry loved it. And I went home, and I thought, I'm too cute to stay home, but there wasn't anything to do. Do you know that when you just feel good, and you want to go out and say, hello, I'm saying it now because I think this skirt is amazing. I just think it's friggin' amazing. I love it. So, and it took a long time to find something to match this color. So, anyway, I went to bed and I looked in my diary, and this wonderful gala was Friday, and I missed it because I was so in my ego, I didn't even look in my appointment book to see if there was something going on in TRC because I'd been in Las Cruces. See what I mean? I knew that gala was going to be there, and I wanted to be there because I could meet more people. Because meeting people in TRC is just delightful. And today is delightful. I just love being with you guys, each and every one of you. But I don't want to go on and on because I've made my point. The point was we interpret. The point was if you're reacting, you're triggering a translation, a version of the experience. What would my mother say about her first 12 years? I was the best mother in the world. What would she say? In the last part, what was her interpretation? I'm a victim. My husband did it to me. That's her interpretation. And that whatever we interpret gets triggered. So give me an example. Who has an example of that you can use? Yeah.
Well, I like your wince to wink.
What is it?
I like your wince to wink.
Wince to wink.
When you look in the mirror, and because that's one of the mornings I look and go, ooh.
Yeah.
And
Good one.
it takes me a little while to get to, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I encourage you to wink in the mirror. You can't not smile.
Yeah.
See? Look at Vicky. She's so radiant when she smiles. I mean, she lights the room up. Yeah.
This is just silly, but it reminds me of, I don't know if you know this, but cats, if you look at them and you go like that,
Cats?
cats, felines, right? That's their sort of love acknowledgement to one another. So if you do this to a cat, they'll eventually do it back.
So Buddy's saying if you close your eyes to a cat, that's like winking?
Well, it's like a love signal.
It's a love signal. So do this to the cat. Have you ever heard George Carlin talk about cats? He says, cats, man, they are so weird. They're the weirdest being. They come walking towards you in a figure eight, and then they stick their butt in your face, and their eyes, man. And what's all that stuff growing out of their face? And he said, in their eyes, they always look like they're trying on new eyes. That's a good one. Who else? Who else has an example? The being triggered, or not reacting, or seeing a crisis as a chrysalis, because when you're in a meltdown, it's kind of hard to pull out.
Yeah, I have like, with my job, I did this meditating, and I see this, like, a vision.
Would you stand up and speak so they can see?
Well, with my job, I did this meditating before I got the job that I have now. I see this vision of, as I'm approaching the place on the street, and it's just this feeling that there's some really special blessing in all of it for me. And this job has been kind of like one crisis after another, just like so I don't know where the gift is, but
It's in the coffee beans.
yeah, I just keep thinking about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a real question.
If we can it's a good observation. He's just observing how we can get stuck. And we can. And do we want to do the coffee bean thing and translate the boiling water you're in to just the medium you're in right now? And it's holding you, it's suspending you. How relaxing it is to be in water. My first job for 10 years in the 60s was working with severely handicapped adults, really physically handicapped. And we'd finally get them to the San Francisco City Plunge, and they'd get in the water, and no struggle, no stumbling, no limping, no wheelchair, no crutches, just suspended. So we could see that the chrysalis I'm being held while I'm moving through this. I'm transforming this environment back to the self from which it came. Does that make sense? Okay, I think that's enough. So you can use this heart however you want. You could throw it away. I think, weren't there little ties in there?
Yeah, if anybody wants a tie.
They'll be in the social hall. They're little twine ties you can have to hang them on something. But you can use this however you want. I suggest it reminds you that you have guidance within you. You have it within your mind. You have it even within your belly. I mean, is that amazing? That we can tune in to the higher interpretation of anything. So let's be quiet a moment, and you can decide how you want to use it. Remember to remember that you know that you know. You do know. You have wisdom ever present and accessible to you. You have it right there. Maybe just pause and take a breath. What would wisdom guide me to? What's the feeling of wisdom? How do I feel when I invite wisdom to take over? How does it feel to be on the frequency of wisdom? And to commit to staying on that frequency. We do not have to leave our chosen frequency for anything. The news, someone's upset, something we see, touch, feel, hear, it's all temporary, and it all comes from the untemporary. So we transform. We take the crisis to the chrysalis, to the lesson, to the liberation of the lesson. Lessons liberate. So in this moment of liberation, we ask for liberation for every person, place, thing on the planet. We ask for peace on earth, and it begins with us. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, turn yourself off.
Gonna play the tambourine.
Hey, tambourine man.
Ready?
All right.
Seeing things differently and feeling some good company. The things I intend, my heart can't pretend. I'm raising my frequency. Seeing things differently to the spirit inside of me. I give control to the light in my soul. I'm raising my frequency. Things differently to the spirit inside of me. I give control to the light in my soul. I'm raising my frequency.
Wasn't it the Beach Boys that did Good Vibrations? Right? That's a spin-off on Good Vibrations. Okay. Now it's time that we have our offering. Somebody go and get the basket so we can. I'm still grooving to the. Thank you, Jim. As we acknowledge and receive our virtual and in-person gifts, we give great thanks for the offerings already given and those we'll be receiving, because we know that giving and receiving are both part of the one flow. We affirm that we are also part of that flow. We bless these gifts and know that they are multiplied throughout our community and the world, and so it is. Thank you, Jim. There are a number of folks we'd like to thank who have contributed to our service today. First of all, Reverend Sandhi, thank you very much. Jeff G., thank you. Edwin, Edward, and Jim, our support team. Please join us after the service in Zoomland if you want to chit-chat with each other. And toddle on over to the fellowship hall for a little salad luncheon, and followed by the annual meeting.
And I bought tons of salad, so even if you're not staying for the meeting, please
Eat.
join us for lunch.
Eat. Mange. Eat. Yeah, okay. Please stand if you are able and read the benediction with me, followed by our congregational song. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world. And so it is.